What's up, everybody? It's Jack and Dan.
And we fixed the leak in this refurbished tank.
And it's all back together, isn't it?
Yes.
Better than ever. Let's take a look, guys. So we did a whole 5-part video series on refurbishing this broken down old tank here, didn't we, kiddo?
Yep.
And then about 6 weeks after we had it together, it started leaking right from the bottom here. And we think it might have had to do with the seal, but also, and you can see some of the water leak down here. We haven't decided if we're really going to bother painting those doors yet or not.
If it's a winter day, we might.
Yeah. So basically, we felt that one of the things that needed to be done was it needed to be reinforced. So we did take and put a 2x4 in the front. This was a very old tank. This was a very old stand. And possibly it started giving way and getting weaker.
So basically what we're saying, it might have bowed or caused the silicone to not, it separated. Maybe there's water.
Right.
So that is the thing. We know that is the thing that happened.
Probably the reason.
It has not leaked.
Well, right. It hasn't leaked. Hopefully it won't. So we reinforced the stand. We put the old 2x4 in there. And most stands do have a 2x4 type of thing in the middle, but this one did not. So anyway, the stand is fine. Otherwise, we did give it a weathered look. And quite honestly, this just makes it look kind of more weathered and fits the theme. The carpet wasn't that bad. We do have pet carpet and it dried up and the water was very clean. So it wasn't really an issue. Now, as far as an update on the tank, we did decide to change a couple things, didn't we?
Yes.
One of the things that we thought was really cool is since we had to take it all apart anyway and put it back together, we kind of let's turn off this top light here. First off, we got a new light. If you didn't see the video we did a couple weeks ago, there was a couple that donated a tank to us to, use because they weren't using it anymore. They gave us this amazing light bar, guys. This thing rocks. We decided to put it on this tank. So we do have an overhead light, and that will help to light up this area and light up the bamboo, and we are going to turn that on for a couple hours a day because this is kind of in a little corner here. But we also put this light on a timer so it lights up really nice. So really, really awesome light, guys. Again, James and Mallory, if you haven't seen that video, we'll put a link in the description. We will also put all of the video links of the build of this tank in the description. Because, it kind of took us, it was like a summer project.
This guy's
really
so
enjoyed
graceful, isn't he?
He is amazing. Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a minute, too. But what we decided to do is in this middle, in between these two cones here, we decided to use basically what's considered like turtle pebble kind of thing. And we got a bag of that at like Lowe's on sale and rinsed it off and put it in the middle to kind of separate things. So the centerpiece is there. Now all the bamboo and everything survived. You can see that these roots in the bamboo is doing awesome. I mean, look at how it's rooting up already. And we will be adding more, of course, to that. This big bamboo's doing awesome. The only thing is some of these anubias we did lose. There was about, I think, 10 or 12. There's only about 6 that survived. You can see where some of them just died off. We did put it in like a big container where we had some pond plants outside just in the meantime while we were redoing it. And they didn't really survive. So, hey, you know what? They're not really expensive or anything, so we'll probably just add some more back on there. We're happy that half of them survived. So anyway, we did that. The other thing is Jack said, hey, we got this big, huge kind of white piece of granite kind of thing. And it kind of has some browns and reds in it that kind of match the terracotta. So we turned it sideways so that when you're looking at a side view of this tank, you can kind of see this guy. Plus it stands out from the black being white and everything. So that kind of covered in that side a little bit. We had another little kind of thing over here. And that was a real cool one. And then we decided to put this tunnel. Now the 2 Galaxy plecos that were in here totally survived. And in the evening and in the morning, you could see them out a lot. One of them does hang out in this kind of pleco cave a lot. And again, we picked the terracotta one that we had because it does match the color and everything. But for the most part, they do either hang out in one of these pots or in here. And you can see if you look in here, like the tip of the tail. You see the black and white dots right there. You can see that Galaxy pleco's tail in there. So they do tend to hide out inside of that stump and stuff, but you know what we'll do later? we'll do some footage and add it in to the end showing them, because they do come out and they are beautiful.
Yeah.
And they really contrast against this black gravel with their white spots. So some people call them vampire tetras, galaxy tetras. You know, they're one and the same. They're about 4 to 5 inches. There's 2 of them. They survive and they're doing very well. What we decided to do...
I see one, they're down there.
Yeah, you can see them like in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you can see them when they're down in here too. But anyway, we got the background lights back on. We got the under gravel lights back on. Everything's going good with that.
Oh, the pleco is in there.
And then we also, oh, there's one. Oh, you could see him through this one, the big one. Yeah. We took the big sailfin pleco, the second largest sailfin pleco, out of the 220 over here. Now, there's a big, huge one. Of course, she's up here. She likes to perch right here. This is what we think is a big female. And he kind of bothered her. We did try to mate him. We did try to put stuff in there. She wasn't interested. She gets annoyed with him. We tried for like a year, so we decided to just put him in here. He's doing awesome. This tank is actually a lot bigger than we thought, and those 2 little plecos really weren't able to kind of keep up with the glass and everything. So we put this guy in there. Let me get around the side here just so you can see a little better. He stopped swimming around when we came out. Anyway, really big, beautiful sailfin type of leopard pattern. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So the heaters are all back in. The filter was all back in. We have the extra light. And we will show you guys the night lights. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Very, very nice of James and Mallory to, donate that. But where that tank's going to be is going to be right in the middle of my office. It's going to be very bright. It's not like in a little alcove like this. So we really don't need a light for it. If we do, we have other lights we can put on it. This one's awesome, though. And yes, it looks amazing. So we have it on a timer, and it turns on just like our big one over there, and it turns on and everything, and of course, underground lights. Now, as far as the other fish, we did have, unfortunately, a horrific loss, didn't we? Yeah. Initially, there were no losses. Everything was fine. But that Royal Farlowella that we absolutely loved. Loved.
With his big tail and his strings.
He was one of my favorite fish we ever got. I always wanted one, finally got one. He was big, he was awesome, he was amazing, and he did not acclimate well back to.
We do think it could be the pH because he might not have been used to it. Or we do think he could have just been old because when we got him, he looked kind of old already.
I don't think he was old. I think he had trouble acclimating back and forth. This was an emergency type of situation. We had to take him out. We had to put him back in Jack's tank. And then we had to, put him back in here. This is one of the reasons, guys.
You like camouflage.
That we put these pebbles in here. Look at how their colors change when they go.
How he transfers to the black and
isn't that darker. Amazing? And that was one of the reasons we did this, was not only because we knew we'd be putting him in here. We thought that the Royal Farlowella that we had, who also has some chameleon properties, was going to be going. Isn't that amazing? Look at how they change.
It's weird because he doesn't Do you think he sees it? Is that how he transfers, or do you think he just?
I think it's just a reflection of their surroundings that change their scales.
Maybe the light reflects into their scales.
Isn't it amazing how all those browns and light colors come out when he goes over here? Anyway, our idea was to have that for the Farlowella. Now, we are very sad we lost him. He was one of our absolute favorite fishes we ever had. We are going to look into getting some more. But one of the things we said was, we're going to make sure this thing's not going to leak again. We're going to make sure this is up for a while. So in the meantime, this big guy's doing great. He's keeping this tank incredibly clean, and he is beautiful, and we may just leave him in here. The 2 galaxies we'll show a little later on when we turn the lights and everything off. And the Farlowella, we're going to start looking for some more Royal Farlowella, but not right away. We're going to wait and see because we loved them, and they are going to go in here. And I will tell you, I was really broken up. I love that guy, but unfortunately, this thing happened with the leak and things happen. Now, as far as all the Tetra go, we did have Jack's Candy Cane and Rosie Tetra in here, and you can see one right there in the middle of the tank. And they did fine. We did, however, go to Best in Pets, our local fish store, and they had a whole tank of these little mismatched, misfit Tetra that a bunch of people returned. And they were just kind of all in there, and we said, you know what? We'll just take them all. There he goes again. He's so gorgeous. Love him. Look at the streamers on his tail.
Plecos, like the big sailfins, always remind me of Toothless because Toothless has that big tail. And his tail kind of looks like that.
Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the tetras. We got sidetracked by his beauty coming through the middle there. So there's a couple of Bloodheart tetras. There are some Priscilla tetras. There are some Colombian blue line or red and blue tetras. There's a white tip tetra. So basically there was just all of these little misfits that people had brought back. They had them all in a quarantine tank together. And we said, hey, look, we'll give you like 20 bucks. We'll just take them all. Because ultimately our plan was to make like an angelfish tank out of this, and the angelfish would kind of be on the top and the tetra would kind of be on the bottom. And the tetra are kind of like hanging around the medium right now. But basically what we did is these were all just little guys that were returned. So we sort of kind of like rescued them to have them all together. They're all a little different. There's about 3 or 4 of each one. And they're all beautiful. They're all beautiful. Never had these Colombian ones before. They're very bright and cool. That little blue line is kind of fluorescent when they hit the light a certain way. So all these guys are going to kind of, when the angels end up going in here, which will be in a few more weeks, these guys will kind of hang out around the middle and the bottom, and then the angels will kind of hang around a little more on the top, most likely. We are going to look into getting some more of these Farlowellas. We love them. In the meantime, this guy will go in here. Now, if the Farlowellas come in here and the galaxies get bigger, this big old guy might end up going on my office tank where we're going to put Brutus. So that may be what happens with him. So we're not exactly sure. So here's what we're going to do, guys. A couple hours are going to pass, but it'll only be a couple seconds for you guys. We're going to turn all these lights and everything off. We're going to wait till nighttime. We're going to just have the undergravel and the starlights off or on, and then we're going to show the galaxies and stuff like that just so you could see them, because they do tend to come out more in the morning and evening. It is fun watching all these tetra eat. Got some granules here. Just going to toss these in. And, oh, there they go right away. Yeah, they just all kind of mix right in there. Grab and go. That's something. There's quite a few of them in there. I'd venture to say there's about almost 20. But they're spread out in such a big tank, and a lot of them do hang out in the bottom here. It's kind of neat having all these different ones. They do kind of hang out with their own, species, but at the same time, they do kind of intermingle. This is a diamond one right here. He's a pretty quick one. Maybe he'll get, there he is. Yep. There's a diamond. These, again, these blue and red ones are pretty awesome too. This guy smells the food, so he's coming over. He'll go down there in the bottom and just clean up anything at all that they don't get. You can see at night here, these colors start coming through. Even with the big light on, they still light up. But I will show it at night, just so you can see it. It came out even better than before. And there's one of the candy canes. A few of those guys running around in here. I'll probably come back later when the overhead light turns off, just to kind of show you the 2 night lights and how they work and how they're looking. Probably put a little bit more food in here. They down that pretty quick. There they go. He's gonna come get some. I got some of these little mini wafers. I'm gonna throw these in up here in the front. This big guy will eat those like popcorn, but that'll pull the galaxies out too, so they'll probably come out a little later. So he's up here getting these granules that the tetra didn't get. They're still floating. He'll just suck those up like a vacuum. Dropped a couple of these algae wafers in. I think he's saw one go over here, so he's grabbing that one. Yeah, he's just real ginger, goes through the bamboo, cleans everything up. Just like Jack was saying, even though he's big, he's very graceful. Cleans off the wood, cleans everything up. He'll find those guys down there and he'll suck them up, but the galaxy guy will come over and eat those, and then he'll kind of go in and out of this cave. There's another one. Yeah, the tetra will kind of see it, and they'll grab it, but they're not interested in those veggie wafers at all, those algae wafers. There are a couple more down here, so we'll come back in a little bit too and see if those other plecos come out. Yeah, this guy's super awesome, super active. All right, so came back about 5 minutes later. These guys were both out here already. Look how good these guys are looking. They're a real good size. Look at them. He just threw his dorsal fin up there. Oh, so he's gonna go back as he sees me. He's gonna go back underneath there. You can see the other ones right here. So they were just out here tearing these mini wafers up. Yeah, this one likes to kind of hang out in the tree here. He goes in the back, but he comes out a lot, you know. And then this one right here will go in here, and then also kind of like in the terracotta pots and that. But they're gorgeous. They look great on this black gravel. I mean, they look great anywhere, but they really look good. Look at how those guys are coming out. Look at that tail. Really looks good. Really looks good. This guy's over here on this side just smashing these. Like I said, this guy eats these like popcorn. He'll just pop these guys right up there. Boom, boom, boom. Look at him. Big Daddy. You know, huh? Yeah. I'll come back when the big lights turn off, kind of show you guys the night lights again, just so you can see how this looks again. All right, guys, so that's what it looks like at night. Just wanted to kind of show that. Looks like those plecos kind of finished up those wafers and they're hiding somewhere. But anyway, just kind of wanted to show it with the lights going. I can turn off the, take the remote here, turn those off, and then you just have the under gravel. And it's amazing how little those LEDs are, but they really light up when all the other lights are off. Look how it comes all the way up through the top of the tank to the ceiling, on the wall and on the ceiling. Lights up those bamboo up top, and they just kind of change colors. We have it on auto. We can put on any color we want, but we usually leave it on auto. It just kind of slowly goes through the spectrum there. And so those usually kind of stay lit in the evening for a while if we stay up past the time the timers go off. And then we'll just click them off before we go to bed. But yeah, we really dig that effect, how it comes out of the, how it comes out of the pots like that. You can see from the side. I mean, it's really cool there. I'm gonna hit those off. Just turn those off, and then turn these back on, just so you can see what it's like with just those. It's pretty neat either way. We'll usually just leave the colored ones on. You know, sometimes we'll even leave the colored ones on during the night and just have these off. And it's just kind of like a nice little night light. Doesn't seem to really bother them. There's lots of dark areas that they can go. You can also just pick a color if you just want it to be like green. You can match the green lantern tank over there then. And you can also turn it down. You can actually go from higher to lower to lower to lower to lower. And you can change to a different color, turn it up or down. It's a really cool remote. Again, these little light LED fixtures are really inexpensive. You can get these little remotes and light fixtures for about 20 bucks, 10 bucks. They're really neat. All right, guys, well, just wanted to show you that. I'm gonna put it back on auto, and let these guys kind of go to bed here. Hope everybody has an awesome day.